Hello there, podcast land. How are you doing? Don't like that. It's too much. Just doing that over. Hello there, podcast land, and welcome back to another episode of the Vintage Podcast. I'm here with the boys, the only boys, the Vintage Boys. And if you didn't already know, the Vintage Podcast is a show where we talk about all things movie related, including new releases, movies that we love, movies that we also hate. Of course, I'm here with the same old heads every single week. I got Jake, Big Country Jake. What's up, baby?
Yeehaw, baby! Yeehaw! Glad.
All right, baby. I got Hunter, the Broken Spliff Paimon.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello there.
Hello there.
And of course, last but certainly not least, Mando Calrissian. What's up, baby?
What up?
And 'tis I, Steve, not Harrington, here to bless everybody with some more movie knowledge today. But before we get into anything, boys, how's everybody doing?
Hey, do you know
Fantastic.
Steve Harrington has his own band?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I just heard one song from it. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
know the
music?
one song.
Yeah, it's just like indie,
Alternative.
It's dream pop.
emo indie.
Dream pop.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
What the hell
It's
is
just
Dream
basic.
Pop?
It's
Yeah,
it's
who
pretty,
else is-
it's
who else
pretty
is
simple
dream pop?
music.
okay, look it up.
Can you define Dream Pop?
Yeah, it's like super synthy. Dream pop is a subgenre of alternative rock and neo psychedelia that emphasizes atmosphere and sonic texture as much as pop melody. Common characteristics include breathy vocals, dense productions, and effects such as reverb, echo, tremolo, and chorus.
It's just synth pop.
Yeah,
Little education right there on music.
dream pop. Cocktail Twins are and Broadcast are some of the biggest dream pop artists.
Don't know either of those guys.
And so, was it Friday night, Mondo? We went over to La Jolla, tried to do some shark fishing.
Oh, how'd that go?
I say we tried to do shark fishing. I really didn't have the gear for it, but I did get to fuck around with the rods that Mondo and Chris took. It's pretty gnarly, dude. It's honestly kind of scary being at the beach that late.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know because you guys live by the beach,
Yeah,
but just seeing
Super-
nothingness,
dude, it's
super
eerie.
dark.
The
Yeah,
dark abyss.
dude. It was gnarly, but it was dope.
Especially if you have a fog rolling in. It's hectic.
Mondo, we left when the fog was rolling in,
Oh yeah.
but Mondo had a nibble on his line and thought for sure he had a fucking shark on it, but damn thing took his bait and ran off with it.
Naturally.
I got hammered,
Good
fell
times.
asleep.
Steven was shotgunning hazies like they were Coors Lights.
Oh, boy.
Whoa. Look at you go, girl.
No, I don't think I'll ever do that again.
I mean,
I
I wouldn't
don't-
recommend that.
I don't recommend it.
How many did you shotgun?
I think I shotgun 2.
That's enough.
Well,
No, I
what
would
hazy
still-
was it?
Well, Sierra Nevada.
During the
Oh,
Of course.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man.
yeah, that's asking for a nap.
And he napped the whole way home like a baby.
I'll tell you what.
I got to Mondo's house. I started saying goodbye, like I was good to drive. And Mondo was like, "Are you sure you don't want to spend the night?" And I was like, "I'm good, dog." And then little Mondo looked at me, MF4, and he was like, "You should really spend the night, dude."
I was gonna let him go home.
I was like, "All right, dog." I for
Yeah,
sure would have gotten fucked.
shout out MF4
Yeah.
For being
being the
So
dad.
sensical.
The level-headed one.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I would never tell anybody not to drive your own car home. It's
Oh,
just
I
not
would.
the way I do it.
I would. I take that back.
I've recommended to not drive before, but I mean, who am I?
Yeah.
Send me.
Give me the keys. Give me the keys.
Oh, it's so good.
That's how I got in trouble the first time. Nobody wanted to let me leave, but I was like, "Give me my keys, or I'm gonna start some shit."
I've had times where we've left parties and people are like, "Rosanna, don't let him drive home. Don't let him drive." And so
That makes you want to drive home even more, huh?
she gets the keys. I don't care, but it's funny because this happened several times where I've had to get out of the parking situation that we were in.
And then
let her
switch.
drive.
And then switch. Yeah.
It's too close. Oh
Love
shit.
that.
That's great.
That's funny.
Well, shit, boys. Let's get into the podcast. Mondo, what you been watching, dog?
I haven't been watching a damn thing, bro. Just to be honest with you, I'm sorry. I apologize to all the listeners, but I've got nothing on tap.
Wow.
Damn.
Not even a YouTube video, like conspiracy theory, like
Oh,
Give it-
always
give it-
watching. Always watching those.
Yeah,
You
we're not
give it-
going
give-
down.
I got
We're
in
not going
trouble
down
for
that
I
road.
got in trouble for talking about that before, so no.
Yeah, we're
give
not
us
going down
something,
that
baby.
road.
I don't want to just brush
Um,
over you. People love to hear Calrissian.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
I know. That's why I'm apologizing to people. I got nothing for you.
Wow, this is actually pathetic. I hate you.
Mhm.
You're tacky and I hate you.
Yeah. You smell like body odor.
Well, I will pass it over to the person who hates you.
Hmm.
Big country.
Hey,
Big
what?
country.
So, real quick, I went this weekend. I went to Kern River. It's probably about an hour and a half east of Bakersfield, about 45 minutes south of the Sequoias. Had an amazing time. Got there Friday night about 10 o'clock, came back Sunday. So a real quick camping trip, but floated down a river, like floated over some rapids on like a tube. The water is usually really pristine because it's snow runoff from Mount Whitney in the Sierras. But there was a rainstorm that came in on Thursday, and it like washed up all this mud into the river, so the water was super muddy. But like
Damn.
it wasn't dirty. Just it looked like it was Wonka's Chocolate River. It was super chocolatey.
Mm.
But it wasn't
Chocolate
like
river.
yeah. But being inside of it, it wasn't like grosser. Like you didn't like, this feels nasty. You know what I mean? Like being like Lake Paris or something. Like this just feels like gross. It wasn't bad. It was just like a mineral bath almost.
Okay.
I don't know. It sounds pretty disgusting to me.
Have you guys ever been to the Sequoias? Have you ever seen the Sequoias?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you were swimming in mud and you're trying to justify the
Yeah, I've
cleanliness.
driven
Say-
through the Sequoias. I've never camped in them.
Yeah, so we were south, so we didn't camp in them. We were pretty far from them still. But we went up there and like walked. There's like a little hike called the 99 Giants or something, and saw a bunch of these old ass trees, man, and they are fucking huge. You don't understand you don't realize how big these trees are until you're in front of them. Like you could hollow out one of these trees and totally be those little elves that are on that cookie, the Keebler cookies.
I've seen a documentary where these tree climbers actually climb them. They use a rope and they shoot their rope with a compound bow to get it
Sick.
over the
Love
over the
that.
tree.
Yeah.
I love seeing shit like
Pretty
that. I love seeing fishing with compound bows.
I heard something that like the biggest trees, the oldest trees, or like the tallest, the widest, and the oldest trees all reside in California.
Yeah.
The oldest
Big
trees, the redwoods are the tallest trees. The sequoias are the biggest trees, and the oldest trees I think are white pines, and they're in a mountain range that's above Death Valley.
I think there's trees in Lebanon are bigger.
No, this was fact from my buddy who knows facts.
Well, I'm just saying. I think might want to double check that.
And
And
I
I be
would've-
talking about California and not another country.
Well, California is the 5th largest GDP in the world, so we're basically our own country.
Which is not saying much.
I mean, it's saying I'm talking about the world, baby. But it was cool on the way back. So we were about 4 hours away, and on the way back, I threw on an Art Bell episode because I was with two friends that had never even had any idea who Art Bell ever was.
Of course not.
My buddy's girlfriend was like, "Who is what podcast is this? It sounds like old radio." I was like,
yeah.
"It's because it is."
Mhm.
It was sick. It was an episode about alien abductions and aliens taking the ovaries and eggs from women and the sperm from men and creating an embryo that implanting into a woman when they alter it with the alien DNA, thus giving us reptilians and like all these hybrids that have it.
Dude,
Was his
What do you
guest
think-
Whitley Strieber?
I don't know. It was actually a fairly recent. When did Art die?
fairly recent.
Oh, like
2018.
Okay, yeah, so it was fairly recent because he was talking about Trump being in office.
Hmm.
And I was like, wait, I thought Art died in like the 90s.
What trips me out is when I listened to the Joe Rogan when Art Bell interviews Joe Rogan. I'm
Oh,
just, like,
that's
thinking,
sick.
yeah, it's so dope. Like it's like Joe Rogan's such a lucky bastard.
Let me see. What episode was it? I want because it was the dude that's on it he's like Dr. David Jacobs from 2015.
I was gonna comment on how accurate. I mean, think about how accurate he is. We've started gene modifications
Yeah.
with newborns and embryos.
Yeah,
Just pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's
to
pretty
say the least.
heavy stuff. So that was kind of a summary of my weekend. I had a great time up there camping. As far as what I watched, did I talk about me watching The Killing Joke last week?
You did.
Mhm.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had brought that to our attention. But
wish
I
you
did
played our podcast for the people in the car. You would have known what you would have watched last week.
touche. I watched Return of the King, the extended cut,
So
4.5
long.
hours loud, 4.5 hours long. When I got back on Sunday, I got back at like 1:00, and I was just like, I just want to sit here and do fucking nothing. And I was looking at HBO Max and I saw it. I was like, this is exactly what and especially after we watched the trailer last week for the new Lord of the Rings show. I threw it on it. God,
There's so much more in the extended than there is in the regular.
There is, and
the theatrical version.
It's better. The extended, like,
you want that info.
Yeah, all that info, all that, just like the nitty gritty.
It makes you wish there was an extended version of Star Wars released.
Yeah, and like a lot of it too is like I feel like, what's the director's name?
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, Peter Jackson. I feel like he got a lot more experimental with the extended cut as far as like his filmmake, like the shot selections and stuff. Like some of the camera angles, nothing. It's not all like perfectly set up. A lot of it's a little rogue, where it's like he's like kind of coming up with Frodo, or he's like tilting the camera on its side, or there's like these different angles that are presented in the extended cut that you don't see in the theatrical version.
Little guerrilla style filming.
No, it wasn't Breathless.
Wasn't Godard.
Was it Godard? Was it Jean?
Jake's frozen.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, so I was hyped to have watched Return of the King, and then after Hunter had talked about watching Spirited Away a couple weeks ago, one of my buddies was over, so we watched Spirited Away, and Spirited Away is, if you're in that world, you're scared,
Terrified.
They're literally it's all spirits. It's great.
Is that a cartoon?
Yeah, it's a Studio
Anime,
Ghibli
yeah.
cartoon. Yeah,
Wow.
It's a movie.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Okay.
The storyline's fantastic.
Yeah. So
I watched that. No, go ahead, baby.
You go ahead, baby.
Did you say where can you watch that?
I was telling the audience, go watch that.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, they have their own Studio Ghibli section on like the hub tab on HBO Max, and just go to that, and they've got every studio or like most of Miyazaki's films, and then a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Jake?
That's it for me. Yeah, those
Excellent.
two are what I wanted to talk about.
All right. Hunter, take it away, dog.
Just a recap. I had a solid weekend. I was in San Diego working a booth for Violent Gentlemen, selling merch for a hockey tournament. It was pretty dope. Shout out to all the dudes there. Shout out to Violent Gentlemen. It was a rad experience. As far as everything that I've watched, the first thing I watched was a 2013 Denis Villeneuve film, Enemy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie is basically about Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays a very to himself teacher, very antisocial kind of person. And he finds out that there is also another person in the world that looks just like him, and everything. So he tracks the dude down, goes through all this experience. The dude ends up getting obsessed with Jake Gyllenhaal's, the teacher, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and start kind of like integrating lives. The movie is super weird. I'm almost positive that there was no second Jake Gyllenhaal. It was just the first one, and he's starting to have
Fight Club stuff.
It's kind of very Fight Clubby. The ending is really what gave it away for me, that it's been the same Jake Gyllenhaal the entire time. Super creepy, very good. Jake Gyllenhaal's an awesome actor in it. For sure, one to check out. It's also on HBO Max right now.
I heard he killed it in the ambulance.
Oh yeah. The next one I watched was the 2022 Dan Trachtenberg movie Prey. This is a prequel to the Predator film, where it's set up in the 1700s, where Predator arrives on Earth and battles Comanche and French fur traders.
I heard it's good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it. I liked the first half more than I liked the second half. The ending I didn't really dig. The way she kills the predator. You know, she's the main actress in it.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens in all predators. It's just her brother in it is super sick. He's a badass. He plays this guy, Tybee, and he gets like appointed war chief. He's just like the dopest warrior in the clan, and she just wants to like prove herself to everybody.
Fuck that. Let me tell you what pissed me off about War Chief or Kabi, whatever his fucking name is. She fucking had that tiger stabbed, she had that mountain lion stabbed in the body.
Yeah, and he took all the credit.
And he took all the credit for the kill because she fell out of the tree and hit her head
on the rock. The thing I didn't like about it is that she is constantly losing throughout the movie, just constantly. She's just badass. She's badass, but she loses to the lion. She loses, like, the bear is like gonna fuck her up. She gets captured by the French fur traders, but then at the end she ends up figuring out a way to kill the predator. That was the part I didn't really like about it. Everything else I thought was awesome. I thought the way it was shot was super rad. Seeing the predator battle a bear was super sick. The dude just picks it up and rips it open, has the blood dripping all over its body.
They gave this predator super strength.
Yes, yeah, super strength. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't understand that because Predator didn't have super strength in any of the other Predators.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't understand that either.
He manhandled the bear.
I didn't really like how she kills Predator because it just didn't make sense to me.
I mean, you don't think jumping through trees in the forest in the jungle is having a superpower?
Like, I don't know.
He lifted the bear over his head.
I mean, he literally kills the bear, or like knocks the bear out. Like,
how much do bears weigh?
Throws a right hook and knocks the bear out.
700 pounds?
A solid ton.
Yeah, I would say about a ton.
Oh my god, give me a break, guys. You know
maybe like a ton's what, 1,000 pounds?
2,000 pounds.
Yeah, then
maybe half a ton.
500 to 700 pounds, I'd say.
No, a big bear will probably weigh about between 500 and 600 pounds.
Yeah, 5 to 7, depending on the kind of bear.
1,000 pounds.
But again, it's pretty cool. It's on Hulu right now. Go check it out. It's for sure probably, and like for all of the Predator films, I would say this is like my third favorite, with like Predator, AVP, and then this one. But that was because AVP came out when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved that movie.
A grizzly bear could weigh up to 800 pounds.
And a Kodiak bear can weigh up to 1,000 pounds.
Damn. That's crazy.
What I like about Predator is, there's sightings every year in the national forest of the United States, like hunters or hikers seeing, when he goes into camo mode.
Yeah. Well, he's just like,
so, and there's a term for it. It's called the Glimmer Man. So there's always sightings every year of that, which is pretty fucking gnarly.
That's wild. I'd be terrified if I saw the Predator face to face.
Dude, lose my shit.
The last film,
I'd be his homie.
Don't leave off
for sure.
Yeah, because I watched Prey 2, and I'm not gonna recover it on my end, but I will say that the Native American Comanches, I think it was a pretty cool portrayal, even though they had them speaking English. I figured it was just them speaking their own language, but for the audience.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool because there are some scenes where they do speak Comanche, right? And like that, like they don't have like the subtitles either, so you don't know what they're saying. Like that's right. Pretty dope.
Okay, so that's literally what I was gonna say. And then the scene where the brother is fighting the Predator and he's on the horse.
Yes,
and this motherfucker is just he's like jumping off the horse. Like, you think he's gonna get the Predator.
Yeah,
he for sure deserved to get the Predator.
Dude, he was a badass.
But the movie they wanted to make the woman the hero.
Yeah,
and they did that.
And she was dope. Like, she was an awesome tracker. Like, she cleverly figured out how to kill the Predator by masking her her temperature.
Yeah, did a really good job at masking the woman empowerment. Because
you
really don't get a sense.
Because she took a lot of L's too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she loses, and then she's learning throughout the movie, and that's why she's able to defeat the Predator, because she's just constantly learning from her past mistakes. So like, I absolutely love that. Again, good movie. Good movie.
7.2.
Yeah, I would say around that area. Yeah, I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars.
And that's on Hulu, yes?
Yeah, that's on Hulu. It just came out right now, like this, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Better than most Predators that have been released.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's top 3 for me. Like, after the original Predator, besides AVP, this is the second best one for me. The last movie I watched besides the movie we're talking about today is a 2014 Damien Chazelle film, Whiplash. starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. This was the first time I had ever watched this movie, and fuck me, man, this movie was perfect.
Yeah.
On all realms, this movie is amazing, dude. Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He is 100% deserving of that because he is awesome. Miles Teller is great. He's got a scene where he's breaking up with his girlfriend, and he basically tells her that I'm going to be great. And since you're not going to be great at anything, we got to split up because you're going to hold me back. And it's just a funny, like, realistic scene. And just Miles Teller, his passion for being the best drummer is very inspiring. So that's another good one that I would recommend to check out. Again, it's probably one of the favorite movies that I've seen in a while. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I'll for sure watch it again and recommend it to whoever if they haven't seen this film. So go check that one out too. Whiplash. I think that one was also on Hulu.
Did you break up with your girlfriend after that movie?
No, I did not. So I guess I'm not great like Miles Teller.
He broke up with him.
All right.
Fuck you, buddy.
She was like, wait, I'm Miles Teller in this situation.
He's like, I got the hand now.
That's why I haven't seen her around lately.
Lucky.
All right.
I know.
Well,
She'll be.
Just kidding.
I was gonna say she'll be here in a little bit.
that's how it does it. All right. Well, other than the movie we're talking about today, I watched that movie 13 Lives that just came out. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
Too bad, so sad. But we can riff on it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk. I thought it was fucking extremely entertaining to watch, like beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like it had my attention. The idea of, I mean, obviously it's based on a true story of the 13 kids that got trapped inside that cave that was flooding a couple of, like in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
In Thailand.
Yeah.
I could have the fucking year wrong, but I don't know.
It was around that time.
It goes into what they had to do to get the kids out, how they found the kids.
Hey, if you're from Thailand, what does that make you?
Thai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taiwanese.
Jack talk Thai.
That's Taiwan.
That's Taiwan.
Yeah.
You're Thai from
Thailand.
Thailand. Thai.
What's the language?
Well, fuck if I know. I mean,
He's never been there.
Mondo just said Jack talk Thai. Jack talk Thai real well.
Hey, well, speaking of bears, what's the plural of bear?
Bears.
Are you sure?
It's gotta be.
I don't think it is.
I think it's bees.
Berenstain Bears.
What else would you call him?
Bear. There were 5 bear at my camping ground.
Hey, bear.
I don't want to go off into this tangent. I heard this on Steve Rinnella's podcast this morning. And I just thought it was funny.
Sick.
I just thought it was funny conversation because
you
don't say like deer, like you just say I saw a bunch of deer. Not I saw a bunch of deers.
That doesn't sound right.
Right.
But like I saw a bunch of bear doesn't sound right. But I saw a bunch of bears.
So
that sounds accurate.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but we're going down the rabbit hole, right?
We're here.
If you
we're Alice.
We're slipping.
I mean, that's the first thing Mondo said is I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but then it just continued to pursue it. So I'm just gonna join in on this. What's plural for fish?
It can go. That can go with anything. Like,
it's a school of fish, not a school of fishes, right?
Yeah.
There are 5 people, not 5 peoples.
Yeah, peoples isn't a thing.
Persons.
Hey, you know what my favorite?
But then
actually,
you change the word.
You know, I'm sure you guys know, but what a flock of crows is called? A murder.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear, dude.
We talked about this on the fucking Hitchcock episode.
Flock of crows. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
I don't remember. That was a long time, dude.
That was a long time ago.
Over a year ago.
Yeah, it was over a year ago.
Oh
damn!
Everybody will go back and listen to the Hitchcock episode. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So it's called A Murder of Crows.
Yeah.
Sick.
Badass, huh?
Damn! How sad we forget.
Yeah.
Everything we learn. 13 Lives, great movie. Had a good time. Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell.
I love that matchup too.
The dude who plays Owen Lars from Star Wars, the new Star Wars movies.
That was a bitch.
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, he was pretty badass in the movie. Without his character, they kids would have never gotten out.
Hey, what a crazy idea too, right? So the idea is
to sedate the kids because it's a 6-hour dive. They're caving for 6 hours to get to where the kids were hidden or hiding.
These kids camped 6 hours into a cave.
I think they got stuck when the flood hit and they just kept climbing up to escape the fucking flood.
Oh my god!
And I imagine walking that is a lot easier than swimming in that.
And so no shit. And I had said on the chat, if anybody knew that Thailand had Navy SEALs, because the Navy SEALs that they send in there were just.
What the fuck was that, Hunter? We post this on YouTube.
What did he do? I missed it.
No, Selena just walked in.
Just displayed PDA. Get out of here, Gomez.
Get out of here. You bother me.
Anyways, good movie. Whatever. Go check it out.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. It's very anxiety inducing when they're diving through the caves and it's very narrow and
doesn't sound intriguing to me at all.
It's so good.
I'll just be in a fit of anxiety through the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, 100%.
That's one of my like nightmares. Like that's one of my worst nightmares.
Really?
Well, so the reason
I would never go cave diving or cave hiking or any of that shit.
The reason why they put the kids to sleep is because of the anxiety that new divers have when they're swimming through the caves, and the kids wouldn't have been able to do it.
How do they put the kids to sleep if they're not with the kids?
With God, yeah,
they swim to the kids and they pull them out. They knock them out and they swim them out.
Yeah, they put scuba gear on them. They hook them up to a tank. It takes them
like 4 days to get every kid out.
Okay, my question was about to say, do they do it all at once?
Well, no, because it's a 6-hour swim.
Yeah, right. 13 kids. Yeah,
and it's like a team of like 6 divers too, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Wild. Dude, imagine being in there with those kids.
And the rescue divers, they were just everyday Americans that fucking dive for fun.
They're English.
Were they all English?
I think they're English. I know Viggo Mortensen's character was English, and I think Colin Farrell's character was English.
Whatever. Good movie. Go check it out. It's the third time I said that. I watched another movie starring Gaten Matarazzo. I butchered his name, but he's Dusty Buns from.
Oh, Gaten?
Yeah, he's Dusty Buns from Stranger Things. It's a movie called Honor Society that came out on Paramount Plus. It's brand new. They just released it. It was entertaining. It was cool. It was about this girl. Her name's Honor. She's trying to go to college, but she's competing against 3 other people for top spot in the school, and she wants to go to Harvard. And it's about her trying to set up a plot to fuck up everybody's school year so that they fucking do terrible in their classes. And it turns out that Dustin was the number 1 candidate, and she tries fucking with him, but she falls in love with him, and he knew what she was doing the whole time and fucked with her.
Really?
And, yeah.
Oh.
And turned it on her at the end.
Did he?
Yeah. Super unexpected.
The trailer makes him seem very gullible.
Yeah. Super unexpected.
Sex scene?
No sex scenes.
God, Mondo.
Yeah. What kind of question is that?
Hey, I'm just curious.
It's
entertaining. It was entertaining.
He's older now.
I enjoyed watching it, but
he's like 21.
Probably another 7.2 movie. 7.0, 7.2.
That's good.
That is really good.
You're pretty liberal on your.
We need to change our rating system.
Just go to 100 from now on.
7%.
Because you always say the movies that we love and movies that we hate. Like, what movies do we hate except for Black Widow?
Those that wish me dead.
Yeah, we've hated a couple of movies.
Ambulance
was terrible.
You guys still gave Ambulance a great fucking.
That James Wan.
I was about to say Malignant.
Malignant was good.
Bad.
Yeah. Watched Prey. I watched the new Buzz Lightyear movie.
What do you think?
I think it's super mid, 100% mid. Yeah. The 2 things that I really enjoyed about it were the aspects of time travel, or not time travel, but I forget what it's called.
Multiverse?
Not the multiverse, but
paradox.
When you're traveling and you're in a different time
dimension hopping, interdimensional.
Grandfather paradox.
I forget what they call it in Interstellar, but
it's not the grandfather paradox.
He leaves for like a day and he comes back like 30 years later.
Thanks.
Okay.
The Interstellar paradox.
The black hole paradox.
Whatever. That was really cool about it, and the orange cat that was in it was really cool about
Yeah,
it.
the orange cat was the funniest character.
Other than that, this is one of those movies where I didn't like it. I'd probably give it like a 4.5.
Damn, you're just saying that because we called you out on your
No,
scale.
I would never watch it. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah,
Prove
I'll never
it.
watch
Prove
it again.
it.
I'll never watch it again.
Let's see you break the DVD in front of us.
What DVD? Your Disney Plus account, Ace. And then
I got quiet all quick.
And then I watched some classics. A movie that I've mentioned on here probably 100 times, Point Break.
Never Ending Story. Point Break.
And Lords of Dogtown.
Oh, I love
You
Lords of
watch
Dogtown.
it like every other week.
I got a list of movies that I watch when I'm not watching.
Well, yeah. What's your thought process when you're like, you're looking, fuck, I'm just gonna throw on Point Break, or you're like, hey, I'm gonna sit down and watch Point Break and look at my phone because I love this movie. Like, what do you do for that? Like, what's your thought process there?
I don't understand the question.
Like,
so when you sit down and watch a movie, you're sitting down to be, attentive and paying attention the whole time. When you're putting on something that you don't really care to watch every scene because you know what's going on,
seen it 100 times,
but you just want to have it on. Yeah, like
exactly.
Is there a term for that?
That wasn't my question.
Oh,
but that's a better question than what you.
My question was the best.
Again?
My question was, what's your thought process when you're going to go watch something, and are you scrolling through an app before you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to throw on Point Break? Or do you sit down on the couch knowing you're going to watch Point Break so you could aimlessly scroll on your phone? Like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
You know what? I pick Point Break because it's a movie that if I want to glance away from the movie, I'll be okay because I've seen it before. But it's also a movie that can catch my attention every time I watch it.
So if you were to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, how would you feel?
Great. I love that scene.
What a question.
You're about to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
I once won an extra scoop at an ice cream parlor with Steven in Austin because there was a quote of guess this quote of the day, get a free scoop. And I got the quote right.
What was the quote?
The one I just said.
I'm very proud of you.
Amy's Ice Cream.
Shout out to Amy's Ice Cream.
They do that at every of their locations. They got a little chalkboard with movie quotes, daily movie quotes.
God, you'd be closing the place.
Yeah, I'd be getting free ice cream every day.
Goddamn right, baby. Well, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the meat and bones of the episode. Worms and germs. We are bringing to you a.
What if you're vegan?
Then you're a germ.
We have Beyond Meat, and we're good. We introduced to you James Dean's Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah, you could say it's Nicholas Ray's Rebel Without a Cause, starring James Dean. Nicholas Ray.
You can just say it's James Dean's Rebel Without a Cause.
No, because we cannot slander the man that directed this film, Nicholas Ray.
It's not slander. People remember James Dean from this movie, not Nicholas Ray.
Does anybody remember Nicholas Ray?
Well, yeah. we do, yeah, but we're not everybody.
He deserves a full episode on this podcast because one, he doesn't have that many movies. Two, he got blacklisted out of Hollywood because he was such a rebel and just told everybody to fuck off. And three,
man, he was a communist.
All of his movies were great.
Dude wore a diamond eye patch.
That's why he picked the red jacket for James Dean to wear, because he was a commie bastard.
It doesn't have a lot of movies, but it says here he has 82. Oh, he has 30.
Yeah.
That's a lot of movies.
Well, they're probably not all. They're probably not all movies.
Yeah, he probably just has credit.
Shorts, music videos. I bet.
As director.
No music videos. There was no music videos when he was making films.
He was the first MTV music video.
Nothing under an hour 40.
Well, Steven, you're watching it right now.
I mean, one of his movies.
Yeah. So, quick little synopsis of the movie, guys. Really quick before we dive into it. Jim Stark is the new kid in town. He has been in trouble elsewhere. That's why his family has had to move before. Here, he hopes to find the love he doesn't get from his middle-class family, though he finds some of this in his relation with Judy and a form of it in both Plato's adulation and Ray's real concern for him. Jim must still prove himself to his peers in switchblade knife fights and chicky games in which cars race towards a seaside cliff. As written by Ed Stephen, from IMDb.
Hey, one
Thanks,
observation
Ed.
real quick. Was Joey Pants in this movie as one of the rebels?
I don't think so, but there is somebody famous that is one of the rebels. That is one of the kids in the gang.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Grew up
I
to
saw
be a great director actor.
Are you talking about Dennis Hopper?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Dennis Hopper's in it. There's one of the kids looks just like fucking Joey what's it? I don't know, Pantaleon or Pantalone.
Pantalone from the Goonies. No, you might be thinking of Frank Mazzola, who kind of has
plays
that
Crutch.
Italian face. He plays Crutch, yeah.
And then I got major vibes of Danny LaRusso
And Salminio.
from exactly.
Kind of looks like him a little bit
Plato.
too.
You know, Salminio is mom's teenage crush.
No
Really?
way.
Because she was always talking about a movie that he starred in called Dino, that she wishes she could find it and watch it one more time. Because he stars in it, and she's always talking about Salminio, Dino. I mean, I don't know. I didn't ask her, but I have a feeling that was her teenage crush.
James Dean's dad in this movie, he's famously known for being in the Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, Gilligan's Islands, and then he did a voiceover of another famous kind of anime or cartoon character.
Some Disney cartoons.
Is he the doctor in Gilligan's Island?
No, he's a rich. He's a
rich guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, what's his name?
And
Howell.
then
Thurston Howell the third.
And then I think he's the voice of Mr. Magoo.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure that's one from what I saw.
What's Mr. Magoo from?
I don't know. Just he has his own show.
Is it his own show?
Mm-hmm.
Is that serial?
Probably not.
Yeah, but I don't know about you guys. How many I watched this movie like probably about 3 or 4 times this past week, just because I wanted to get really versed on it. I hate watching a movie and then not understanding it and then copping out and going to like YouTube or something like that to figure out what somebody else thinks about it. So
coming up with your own conclusion.
Coming up with my own conclusion of what I think is going on. So that's why I kind of wanted to pick this movie apart a little bit because it's not exactly straight to the face. There's a deeper meaning behind this film that you might not fully understand if you're just watching it for like James Dean.
With the teenage, adolescents,
disgruntled
life at home, right?
Yeah,
it's not perfect, and you see that. And I think about this all the time because, I'm a parent and life is not perfect. Parents are not perfect. Kids are not perfect. And you have to find this medium. You got to meet in the middle somewhere where like, hey, let's both work on our fucking issues here. And I think that's what the basis of this movie comes from. Yeah. Not including the kind of homosexual erotic undertones of it.
It's not even kind of.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. Because Plato was gay, right?
He was. And the thing is too, is that because when me and Selena had watched this, I kept saying like, oh, that kid's gay. From like the first moment he looks and sees James Dean, like that's how or not the first moment, but when they're at the school and he sees him again, that's like, I'm like, you can tell by the way he looks, the way he acts, the way he kind of like,
and if not
fantasizes
gay,
over
fantasizes and puts James Dean on this kind of pedestal where he, at one point in the movie, he even says he wishes that he was his dad.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Which is my biggest argument in considering him to be gay.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good argument.
You don't romanticize your father. Like if he was like I love you so much.
But this movie also showed the daughter kissing the dad in the mouth, and that being taboo in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Jake, on Plato. I don't think he was.
I don't think he's gay.
He acted like it, but.
The actor came out and said years later that his character was gay.
But that's the character's that's Sal's interpretation of it.
So you don't think the conversations he had about Nicholas Ray and him having to play that part had no correspondence with that?
I'm with Hunter
because
I heavily disagree with you there.
I think at this point in American culture, you talking about being a homosexual is taboo. You don't openly talk about these things in a public setting.
That's why they didn't openly say it in the movie.
But there's For me, Plato's character, he just lacks a masculine male figure in his life. So he's been brought up by his nanny, the stay-at-home nanny. His mother isn't there, so he he doesn't know who he wants to be. So he shows his active aggression, his testosterone, and killing puppies and doing these other things because he doesn't know.
He's
what's right
undecided.
or wrong.
He's undecided on who he is, what he is, and you could tell by the socks. He doesn't know which. He wears a red and a blue sock.
That's a good one right there, Mondo.
Exactly.
That was great. That was great.
Why don't you kiss his ass?
So
hey, he's
back
right.
to what I was gonna say before I was fucking rudely interjected like 2 minutes ago.
What's interjected?
Interrupted?
Interjected. Somebody interjected with their stupid comments.
You were rudely interjected out of a plane.
Is it interjections or interjected?
Interjected. I'm looking at the definition now. I know it's a word.
It is a word.
I'm gonna interject you out of my car next time.
Okay. Say something abruptly, especially as an aside or interruption. So I was correct in my fucking sentence. Fuck both of you.
Okay. I will EAD. I will EAD.
Well, all I was gonna say is from the beginning of the movie, the first time Plato meets James Dean, like he offers him a coat. He offers him his jacket.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever had that experience with anybody else before in his life, which is why he instantly he didn't know how to act when somebody offered him the coat. Like he didn't know how to act. He didn't know how to respond. And then when James Dean knocks on the window, he's like, why don't you want the jacket? Like, he's like, oh, fuck. There was like an instant like,
there's a social disorder there.
This guy's interesting. I want to learn more about him. And this, like, he started observing James Dean's character. And that's where the infatuation began. But he also did say in the movie, I wish you were my father. And they were playing like house with him.
And he's like, come over to my house. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't what the
that was because they were hiding out though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way he said it, he was like, there's nobody there anyway.
Yeah, but he also said, yeah, in the morning we could have breakfast like my dad used to.
If you want to do some screen sharing, I have that recorded if you want.
Hey, how sick was his little bike that he had? I didn't know they had electric bikes like that back in the day.
Dude.
In the 50s? That thing was dope.
His scooter. You called it a scooter.
Yeah, scooter. Yeah. I think it was sick.
Let's rewind and go back to the
beginning. The beginning. Which was, it starts off weird when James Dean's character is drunk in public, sleeping on a floor in the street with what's he have? Like a little teddy bear?
It's like a little monkey.
Yeah.
It's like a gift for something. I don't know what the gift was for. It's the MacGuffin. But it was it's one of those monkey with the symbols.
Yeah.
Symbols.
Is it symbol or symbols?
Or is it civil?
It's symbols.
Yeah, CYMBAL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since when the fuck did your unpronunciation have to become the
Hey, buddy. We make up words here at the Vintage Podcast.
No, fuck you. You're correcting all the words that I made up.
All right, so I want to get your guys' opinion on the Judy character in the very beginning.
She was a bitch.
No, well, besides that point, when she's at the police station and she's talking to the cops, was she a woman of the night?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I didn't get those vibes at all.
The cop asked her, "What are you doing outside at 1 a.m.?"
Yeah, you looking for company or something?
Yeah, you looking for company? And she says, I forget what she said, but
she says, I don't know why I don't know why I do this.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really refer to anything else that she was talking about. You know, she was wearing a dress and her dad like snapped at her because the dress must have been a little bit too revealing. And then that's when she left. So I was just kind of in between of just like, I mean, was she really, or was she just so distraught that she was just talking and wasn't really listening to
honestly, I wouldn't put it past this movie because this movie is just so the nuances in this movie are so weird.
She's obviously hanging out with the wrong people.
The wrong people, exactly.
She ran away. There's no way. I don't think she was a woman of the night.
Well,
my answer is no.
Well, it would make sense because if we fast forward to the chicken race or the chicken run, when Buzz dies, she shows very little remorse, then instantly falls in love with James Dean. So
she was already falling in love with
James. For me, that can only mean that she was with Buzz as like a status symbol,
just to get clout.
She's the most popular girl. He's the most popular guy. They kind of have to be together.
She's a clout chaser, dog.
I don't know. No, you can't call. I don't know if you could call her that. It's just like the social dynamics of high school is that indeed.
It also has to do with her insecurities at home, also.
Absolutely, yeah.
With her relationship with her father.
Yeah,
and also going to piggyback on on the idea of her being a woman of the night. Like she's
a teenage girl, bro. They're not gonna do that.
Yes, they will.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
she's looking for
Thailand.
I mean, because the cops just picked her up for being out late at night. Like there was curfews back in the day.
You guys know a lot of 16-year-old prostitutes. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
Did she say she was 16?
She throw on Epstein Island.
What is she, 16 or 17?
I mean, she's obviously
that big of a difference.
I mean, she's obviously like a senior in high school.
Is there that big of a difference?
Well, if she's a senior, then she's 17, 18.
Then she's 17.
I mean, if it makes it
is that a huge stretch?
I mean,
okay, so how many 17-year-old
to kind of prove my point here?
No, I don't know any hookers.
When she was filming this movie, she was 17 and she had a relationship with Nicholas Ray, who was like 35.
Okay, how many hookers that are 17 do you know?
This is a fucking movie.
So you're saying the director?
So how sure are you? How can you be so sure that she was a lady of the night?
Because of what she said.
It's just an assumption. It's just an assumption.
I asked you guys for your opinion because I wanted to see what you guys thought.
Yeah, he didn't want to get bitched at by us.
Exactly.
But it makes sense how the lack of mourning for Buzz to jump immediately into a real relationship with James Dean characters because she's infatuated with him.
Yeah, and James Dean's also the lead fucking character,
who is not as tough as he turned out to be.
I mean, he's pretty sick, dude.
I don't know, man. That first confrontation with the knife fight he would just seem real sketchy to me. Like I was not impressed.
He also was surrounded by 8 other dudes.
Yeah,
give me a break.
He didn't want to get into trouble. He didn't want to fight.
And it's funny. You see where Marty McFly gets his problems with being called chicken from.
Yeah,
this
dude.
Love that.
Yeah, that was sick. I loved that.
Yeah, I mean, James Dean character, he's a rich kid that's been given everything to him, and he's I think you could call him rich.
The car he's driving is pretty sick.
I mean, he seems to be. I'll give him upper middle class, which is just.
I mean, he goes to his first day of school in a fucking suit.
He changes out of he takes
the tie off. He takes the tie off.
I thought that was sick though.
So it's funny because I remember kids in high school. There was a group of kids, and they call themselves rebels, and they got it from this movie, and they called themselves. I'm not dissing them because I'm still friends with some of them, but their gang was called the Dean Boys.
Oh my god!
But James Dean didn't even wear like leather jackets or cuff his pants. He wore a suit the whole time.
Yeah.
That red jacket was members only jacket.
Yeah.
Was it members only?
Yeah, it was.
I got the same fucking jacket.
Do you?
Same red members only jacket.
It's a gray jacket.
Wait, were you in the Dean Boys?
No.
Don't lie, dog. Don't
wasn't
lie.
cool enough.
Did you just snitch on your clique?
Short stint with the Dean Boys.
Oh shit!
No, it was not cool enough.
Hey, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I mean, James Dean character, he doesn't seem to be. You don't get the feeling he's tough. He's just not well routed. He doesn't like all 3 of the main characters, being James Dean, Natalie Wood, and Sal, whatever his last name was.
Yeah, Mineo.
They all lack direction. They all lack guidance.
Discipline.
This scene right here. Sorry, Jake.
No, yeah, go ahead.
But this scene right here, where James Dean is lecturing his dad, who's wearing an apron, picking up food off the floor
because he's afraid of his mom getting mad.
That's where you show. I mean, he is a tough guy. He knows the difference between tough and soft.
Yeah,
he knows his dad is super soft.
They tore him apart.
It's like he's toughening up his own dad.
Yeah,
I mean you get that from the police at the police station. You know, the cop literally tells him that. He's like, "Oh, I just don't want to be like my dad." He's like, "Oh, so you don't want to be chicken?" Knowing that like he sees that his dad is that way,
right?
And he doesn't. Yeah. He wants to be the opposite of his dad.
And you also see him the parent side where the parents fuck up when James Dean is asking his dad for advice, and his dad's basically saying, "You'll know what I'm talking about 10 years from now." And you get James Dean just sick of hearing the same fucking. She's like, "I need to know now, Dad. Like, you need to fucking man the fuck up and tell me what a father is supposed to tell a son."
Yep, exactly.
I didn't want to say that yet, but that's my favorite part of the movie is when he comes back after the police station and he's telling them like, I'm gonna turn myself in, like I'm turning myself in. And the mom goes like, you're being stupid, like in 10 years you're gonna forget all about this. And he instantly is like, Dad, like you just told me earlier 10 years ago I'm gonna look back and remember all of this shit and think about how stupid I was. Tell her she's wrong. And he doesn't stick up for her, and he loses his shit and throws his dad and tries choking him out. That was my favorite scene of the movie. I absolutely loved it. It was so dope. But he's got there's some good dialogue in this. And I feel like I had to rewatch it a couple of times too, because since it was based in the 50s, I didn't get a lot of the slang. You know,
well, speaking of that part that just passed, the dad called the daughter something really weird there.
Yeah, like glamour puss.
Glamour puss.
Yeah, glamour puss. That was weird, dude. That was super weird. He's like, glamour puss. I'm sorry. Dude, so like that's a nickname you gave your child? Glamour puss?
Did you Google the phrase?
Yeah, like it had to have mean something. And I mean, this movie, you could tell that this movie was based in a period where a lot of things weren't acceptable. Like, as you can see in the moment where Judy's parents are laying in bed, they have 2 separate beds. And that was because at that time during television and movies, there was very like taboo to show a woman and a man in a bed together.
Yeah, the fathers were not getting glamour puss.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's no glamour puss going on over there. And so that's why they have to separate them.
And this movie is almost like a telling of the dissolve of the nuclear family.
Yeah.
It shows Sal's characters their parents are divorced, the mom's gone partying with her friends or whatever.
On his birthday.
James Dean character's parents are trying to hold it together, but the dad is a pushover. He's not the dominant force that is like what defines a nuclear family. And the girl's character, it's a little harder to depict that one, but there's something there too where they're all playing the same storyline essentially.
Yeah, that's a far reach to say it's the dissolve.
Is it though? I mean, you just called the director a communist, and the communism despises the nuclear family.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You telling me Russians don't have nuclear families?
But the nuclear family is like the core of Cold War, like anti.
No, it's an era.
The nuclear family is as American as it gets.
It's worldly. I mean, it's all around the world. Yeah, it's in Mexico. I mean, you're telling me Mexican families don't have a nuclear family?
Yeah, but
the dynamic's even stronger. But down there, with like close knit all the family members are.
The close quarters.
Yeah,
you're going down a path I can't follow, Jake.
No,
I
just say, hey, I see where point you're trying to make, but I think that's
to say that. That's it. To call dibs for the nuclear family for America.
That term wasn't even created until just a couple years ago.
There are nuclear families everywhere, dog.
I'm doing a Google search. Go ahead and keep talking.
Another big scene that I thought that was fantastic.
Another communist-owned
entity. was when James Dean's family and him are talking to the cop in the office, and the mom is bickering at the dad, the grandma's bickering at the mom, the dad's just taking shit and not like nobody's listening to him, and he just screams out like, "You guys are tearing me apart!" And just like, you say one thing, he says the other thing, and everyone just goes back on each other. And just seeing him emotionally break down like that, especially being vulnerable when he's a little bit wasted, was a very powerful moment. He just doesn't know. He doesn't have like I think Jake said earlier, he doesn't have any direction. Like there's nobody that he can go to and actually like have a conversation with. Nobody that's actually giving him good advice to how to live life.
And same with the dad too. Like one wrong piece of advice and the fingers getting pointed on him. It's like, now this movie can explain why every mid-century father was a fucking drunk alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, because even James Dean says like if he would just slap her like hard one time, like maybe she would respect him and love him and not pick on him so much. And I feel like that's only really something you could say in this era. You say that later on, and it's like again, it's a little bit more difficult to hear, even though it still is, just hitting a woman in general. And I really love too when he comes out and the grandma is just like, he's always been a great boy. He's like, you tell one more lie and you're gonna turn to stone. And she just like looks all pissed at him and walks away. Dude, it's so good. It's awesome, man. His line delivery in this is fantastic. And I know that Nicholas Ray had said, and so does James Dean, that Nicholas Ray allowed him to improv a lot of those scenes. So I wonder what was like actually in the script, what was something that Dean came up with on the spot and that actually stuck and like made the movie, because that'd be pretty fascinating to see. You know,
I didn't look it up, but I'm curious how old he was when he made this movie.
24.
I mean, he died. Go, Steven.
Yeah, he died the month before this movie came out.
And he'd already made a few movies, though, right? This wasn't the only movie.
I think he's only made like 3 movies.
He's made a handful of movies.
But like, yeah, he did the one with Isra, like East of Eden. He did this one, and he did one other one that he was like really prominent for.
Wow.
I think they said that because Heath Ledger won for the Joker, because he has 2 Academy nominations that were like post his death, which is pretty wild.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna retract a little bit on my statement. Nuclear.
I'd rather not go back to that.
Yeah, we're done.
It's a core value in North American conservatism. So yes, it is worldwide, the nuclear family being a 2-parent household. But as far as the core traditional values of North American conservatism, the nuclear family is probably the second on that list. It goes God, then the family. You know what I mean? So like in this movie in 1955, what happens 10 years later? It's the hippie era. What I'm getting at is this is the beginning of the dissolve of that value.
I'm still gonna agree to disagree with you.
Respectfully decline.
It's all you fucking hippies' fault.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even mentioned that it's probably one of 2 of the most famous lines in this movie is the beginning when he's in the prison or at the jailhouse.
He's kind of annoying in the beginning, to be honest with you.
When he yells,
He's wasted.
"You're tearing me apart."
Yeah, that was.
It's so good, and it's like one of the most quoted lines from this movie. That like before I had seen this movie, and I knew that quote before I knew it came from this movie.
Reminds me of the Jerky Boys when he calls the hemorrhoid laser removal. It's tearing the ass out of me.
And the goddamn fox.
And then I also kind of had an opinion on this movie. I kind of want to get your guys' feedback on it. This movie is basically, even though it's not as great, it's nowhere close, but it is a representation of the outsiders and the viewpoint of the socias.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Watching
this movie, I was at any moment I was waiting to see Thomas Howell,
exactly,
Rob Lowe. I see a lot of the outsiders in this movie.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of threw me off of that is that Buzz and his crew, even though they're technically, I would say, socias, they dress like greasers.
Yeah, I think they're greasers.
You think those guys are greasers?
Yeah.
But then again, like she is like Judy is the most popular girl and she's dating a greaser. I'm thinking about like outsiders where like Cherry would have never have done that like at school with Pony Boy. You know,
I didn't get while watching. I didn't get any outsiders vibes. If anything, you get fucking Grease vibes.
Grease vibes for sure.
Without the music.
Yeah, because you would consider R.I.P.
So
sad.
R.I.P. Fucking announce it. We're on the topic now. Olivia Newton-John passed away today.
Due to breast cancer.
R.I.P.
Breast cancer?
I think I saw it was breast cancer.
I mean, 78. That's you could almost chalk it up as just old age.
Yeah,
that's the lifespan of a adult American woman.
Yeah, I won't be 78.
James Dean fucking died pretty gnarly, but did fucking Sal Mineo Plato also died pretty gnarly at a young age too?
Yeah,
no
dude.
shit.
Did you dive deep? Did you dive deep into that story, Steven?
I didn't dive too deep. I dove deep enough to know that it was pretty fucked up. Basically, he's getting home from rehearsal one night. He's 37 years old.
Yeah.
And was fucking stabbed to death before getting into his house.
No way.
Yeah.
It's so brutal, dude.
Well, because Natalie Wood died kind of randomly at 40 years old.
I think she was 43. She also
her story is scary too because she drowned. And check this: a year before she drowned, she was on an interview. She was saying how much she's terrified of like dark water, of like being out in an ocean where she can't get close to land. And a year later she drowns.
For sure. I think that's like 90% of people's fear, right? Is just being stranded in the fucking middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Full
But
circle.
that
That's how we started this episode.
That is pretty.
I'll tell you what, I felt really comfortable. I was walking out a few yards into the ocean when I cast it out, and I felt good. I didn't feel scared or anything. Felt awesome.
I was going out knee deep, and that's as far
Steven
as I was
like,
gonna go.
Mondo, don't go too far.
Just being a little brother, dude. That's such a little brother thing to say.
No, he got to a point where I couldn't see him anymore, even with the flashlight.
Oh, no shit. Damn,
Yeah.
So you were far out there then.
Yeah.
And obviously we're fishing for sharks, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go that deep and cast out when we're fucking fishing for sharks.
Yeah. All you hear is help me.
Yeah. He had the car keys in his pocket. We would have all been fucked.
What happened to him?
Oh god.
He got eaten.
So yeah, and obviously James Dean died, car accident, racing his fucking sports car, which was a dope ass car. Snapped his neck, died instantly. He said that was the way he wanted to go.
There's something else going on here, especially the three of the main actors dying the way they did. There's something suspicious going on.
I mean, they're
a part of the prediction of the dissolve of the nuclear family.
Oh god damn you,
Jake.
No. But there's movies that are just in a sense cursed. Or just shit happens. Maybe it's just a coincidence, can you say? But I mean, look at the cast of Glee.
Look at Poltergeist.
Look at Poltergeist.
Yeah, Poltergeist was a horror movie though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes.
Hey, did you guys think it was
you call down the thunder, the thunder's gonna strike. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's not wrong there, baby. Do you guys think it was a little weird when Buzz took the cigarette out of James Dean's mouth and puffed it himself and gave it back to him?
No,
that's why James Dean was
dominance.
James Dean was way too cool about that. Like I would have slapped the cigarette in that guy's face.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to be Buzz's friend.
Yeah, because Buzz did just say like I like you.
Yeah, his dad told him at the beginning of the movie, don't pick your friends, don't let your friends pick you.
Yeah.
And he immediately knew, like as soon as he got to school, where he wanted to be at because of fucking
Natalie then Wood's he started acting stupid in the fucking planetarium.
Well, because he heard
Moo.
Well, because he heard the dude.
That was so cringeworthy.
It was super cringy. But the only reason why he did that is because he saw the dude make a joke about the crab. So he was like, let me try to fit in with these guys. I'll make a joke about the bull. And they all just turned on him, too. It was kind of fucked up, man. Like,
little does he know it's gotta be his bull.
I mean, it's not like the joke with the crab was that much funnier, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, he was like, oh, fuck me, right?
Plato thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, Plato loved it. And then one of the things that I thought was kind of like a plot hole in this is that, in the very beginning, we see Plato's at the station. He's at the station because he had just shot some puppies. Later on, we go back and he finds the gun again that's hidden under the pillows.
Under his pillow.
Like the kid, I think it was his mom's, because the child support was next to the dresser.
It was a nice gun.
It was a nice gun.
The 1911.
I don't. I think it was a P-38. I just thought that was
standard issue.
Yeah, I just thought that was a little weird. It's just like the kid already showed that he knows how to use a gun and he's willing to kill something. Like,
he was shooting everybody.
Yeah, like you're not gonna. I guess maybe it's different times. Like I feel like the cops would maybe
that's classic United States.
Like confiscated that gun, or.
But then also, James
classic
Dean took
United States. How hard it is to get a gun.
James Dean took the magazine out of the gun, right?
Yeah,
but there's still one in the chamber, so he still could have done some damage. So the shooting was justified still.
I love this scene right here. The fast forward on the fucking body roll.
Yeah.
Make it look more realistic.
Yeah, it speeds
right
up.
Here.
Yeah.
That right there. And this dumbass, why didn't he fucking slam on the brakes?
I was thinking that too, but I think he didn't want to stop because he would have been chicken. So he was trying to get out of the car as fast as he could. And then he got too close to the edge to even press on the brakes.
No, a lot of those cars are they don't have brakes either.
Or maybe it's a hand brake and he couldn't use his hand to pull it.
Yeah, they just would get like the worst beaters ever, and some of the cars didn't have brakes. So people like kids really died doing that because that shit did go on back in the day, and teenagers did die from that.
They could have clipped the brakes too because they pulled the engine up. They inspected the car and
Jake, like I was trying to like hear or see in subtitles if like that was like said like kind of very low and subtle, so that the audience didn't really hear that, but they at least announced it. But I didn't catch it. But that was something that I also thought was a thing too, that they just clipped it and they were just they didn't really say it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What a waste of 2
way to
cars.
die.
I also thought it was interesting that during the scene where they're going to the cliff, the cars are like this close to each other. They're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Versus like the dude, how he's gonna open the door.
How's he gonna get out anyway?
Yeah,
I was thinking about that too.
Fucking car's gonna stop him, dog. He can't roll anywhere.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was pretty funny.
And then if he did roll out, James Dean would have ran over him.
Yeah.
He's dead anyways.
Lose situation.
Yeah, absolutely, dog. Absolutely. But man, dude, I really enjoyed watching this movie.
I was hoping they would have boned down.
Hey, the thing that kind of surprised me is I thought the kid that rung him up for stepping on the insignia would have like a bigger role in the movie.
The teacher?
Yeah. No, he was like a student.
That kid.
He was just like, hey.
He was like, hey, don't step on that.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Like I thought he would have like a bigger, like he would like befriend James Dean like down the line.
Didn't he introduce himself as a teacher?
No.
He said to go to Mr. So and so's class.
Yeah.
Room 208.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, good memory.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, baby.
I would have been. I'm the kind of person that would step all over that fucking emblem.
And what a great first day of school, huh? Field trip to the Griffith Observatory.
This whole movie was the first day of school.
Yeah, it's first day of school, which I love that. I think that's awesome.
What, Jake?
It's easy to step all over the emblem when you have the protection of the Dean gang, the Dean boys,
the Dean boys,
the Deanators.
And your modern nuclear family behind your back supporting you.
Yeah, I had privilege. So what?
Oh, dude, that's another thing that I thought was pretty funny in this movie is that there is so much privilege that's going on.
Yeah.
How many encounters have you ever known of where a cop is just
the cops are like, all right, guys, turn the lights off. He said turn the lights off. Turn them off.
Yeah, the cop lets him keep the monkey when he's in the beginning. James Dean throws a hook at him, misses. The dude throws him down and then has like a heart-to-heart, lets him go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just come back whenever. Like, that fucking, come on.
That's how policing should be.
That's how it should be.
They're part of the neighborhood. That's how it was back then.
I just thought that was funny.
The dad roughs up the police that attack James Dean, and the fucking police chief is like, oh, just let him. That's the father. He's okay. And
the dad trying to grease up the detective too with a couple of cigars.
Yeah.
I thought that was sick.
I don't
like he can't take that, dude. What do you mean? Cops can't take shit.
Bullshit. Yeah, they can.
It's not supposed to, especially when there's crimes involved.
They can accept gifts under a certain dollar amount.
This goes to show you nothing's changed in over 70 years.
Nothing. That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always trying to.
And I don't think the cigars were considered a bribe too, because they had already let the kid go.
Yeah, I just thought it was more so of just like here, hey, thanks, man, I appreciate that, and give it to him.
I mean, like, James Dean character was already a troubled boy who'd been into some shit, so this could have been like, hey, you're gonna see my son again. Remember me and these cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The little brother calls her darling baby pie glamour puss sweetie.
It's a little weird.
Glamour puss was known as I googled it. It's a glamorous person.
Term of endearment.
Okay. Which is cool, because in the beginning of the movie, right before she leaves to school, the little brother like totally ignores her, and like he like keeps riding his bike and she's calling out his name and he just won't, like, he's not listening to her. And then this is like a very wholesome moment where he kisses her forehead, just like letting her know like, hey, I love you. And like,
you're my glamour puss.
Yeah, you're mine.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those PJs. Those tucked in. Fucking tucked in.
Dude, what was that look, weirdo?
Yeah.
He's thinking about the kiss from earlier.
It's a little creepy. The dad and Natalie's character, the relationship is a little creepy.
The dynamic is weird.
Yeah. He's like, no, you got to grow up. But she's like, I don't want to grow up. I want to be your baby.
Yeah. I want to kiss you in the lips, Dad.
Yeah. You're too old. You're too old for that, sweetie.
I love that he's drinking milk too.
I thought he was about to take a bong rip.
Dude, Selena said the same thing. She's like,
I'm pretty sure he's been on the cover of Got Milk magazines.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah. I mean, like he drinks milk a couple of times throughout this movie.
I mean, how many people? Hunter today was like, hey.
All right. He's being super flamboyant with that bottle of milk.
Hunter literally said today, hey, we should start having some more milk in the house.
Milk's good, dude. I still buy whole milk. I don't do whole milk. I do 1 or 2%.
Get the red cap.
Oh boy.
Mm.
This
Does the
scene
body
right
good,
here,
baby.
this scene right here is fantastic. This is right when James Dean gets back from the chicken run, and he lays on the couch, and he hears his mom come down, and the camera goes from his viewpoint looking upside down and just fully turns.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at first because I'm like, oh, this is a POV shot. Then why isn't he sitting up when the camera goes back to him? But as the camera is turning, you can see James Dean in the bottom left corner still laying in that spot. So it's not a POV. It's just kind of it's like you can barely see him. Boom, right there. Just like his chin looking up at her.
Dude, whoever was controlling that camera, whatever key grip that was, took a lot of skills. So that camera was huge back then.
Oh yeah. And dude, they do an excellent Dutch angle right here, dude. It's absolutely phenomenal. When he goes to the stairs and they're just like talking on the stairway where like mom's kind of in the middle, James gets the bottom, and the dad's on the ground. It's awesome. It's my favorite shot in this whole movie. It's so brilliant.
I do an awesome Dutch oven.
I don't doubt that, baby.
If anybody's interested.
I don't doubt that.
Hey, babe, get under the blankets. It's a good one tonight.
Yeah. It smells real good down here.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever just like get a whiff of your own Dutch oven?
All the time, baby.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
After COVID, though, I don't like the smell of my own farts.
Goddamn farts.
I mean, you could have asked any of us, and we'd have all told you that none of us like the smell of your farts.
Well, before COVID, I used to. I just bathe in it. I'd bask in it.
Oh God. Oh God. Go ahead, baby. Sorry.
Least favorite parts of the movie. What didn't you like?
Me. I don't know. I like this movie and I don't like it. It's weird. Just because it seemed like a lot of the scenes had a lot of awkwardness. I'm not saying the acting was bad,
but the acting wasn't amazing.
So, I mean, it was pretty good.
I hate how the little boy turned into a fucking just complete psychopath at the end. So the ending. I hate the ending when
Plato's character. You hate the ending?
I hate the ending.
Oh, I don't know.
I got the bullets.
Yeah, that's the best, dude. Me and Jake rewatched that scene like 10 times earlier. It's so good.
No, it's good.
It's the equivalent to The Outsiders. He's just a kid.
It's funny to me.
It's funny. It's not a particular scene that I didn't like about this movie. I didn't really love how fast Judy's character falls for James Dean. You know, where she's known him for a day, and they're laying.
But she even says she's like, I don't know why I feel like this, but
yeah, it's just like it just happens so easy and so fast, and like I've never loved anybody, and I love somebody, and like the dialogue is fantastic. I just don't think that's real.
I wanted them to start boning right there.
Oh God,
that's it.
Hunter, didn't you say that this movie was rated like, or like something different? It was banned in England and
this movie was banned in the UK and banned in New Zealand, rated X.
What?
Because of the rebelliousness, they didn't want to show kids standing up to their parents, or like feeling a certain way towards their parents. They didn't want to show that.
They didn't want to dissolve the nuclear family yet.
Is that why it's called A Rebel Without a Cause? I don't understand the title of the movie.
That's called the title should have been Growing Up White.
That fifth, baby. That for sure fits. Right there, dude. Where it turns slightly into a Dutch. It's fantastic. So good.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I recognize the Dutchness.
I don't know why they do call it Dutch.
Because they got to get a blanket and put it over the camera.
Ooh.
And I think James Dean right here
to hold it up in that position probably.
In this scene, James Dean puts on his best performance of the movie. He's talking to both his parents. He's very nerve-wracked. He needs to go and he already like spilled the beans about this kid dying. Now he's got to go turn himself in because it's just weighing too heavy on his conscience. And he wants to do something right for the first time in his life. And his parents are just saying no. And he just told his dad, like, didn't you tell me to tell the truth? And his dad doesn't respond to him. And he goes, which is a great line. He's like, you can't just turn it off. Like, you can't tell me to do one thing, and then when I want to do it, you tell me no because it doesn't fit your how you want me to go about my life. I think it's fantastic.
I like this. What he says right here. I'm tired of being a 24-year-old senior in high school.
Yeah. He's so hunched over all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
James Dean came from the same acting schools like Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, Marilyn Monroe. Marlon Brando was already kind of like the it dude, but they were all in class together.
You say Paul Newman too?
Yeah, Paul Newman. If you watch, I'm 2 episodes in. It's kind of slow, but it's really informative and it's really good. But the last stars of Hollywood, it's the Ethan Hawke documentary about the relationship between Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. And the first episode, it goes into the beginnings of Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward and how they met and stuff. And they mentioned.
I have a theory now. I have a theory that Paul Newman set up James Dean.
Well, Paul Newman lost a lot of roles to lost a few of his first roles to James Dean, and roles that would have went to James Dean in the future went that
Paul
that
Newman.
Yeah, went to Paul Newman.
went to Paul Newman.
Cool Hand Luke would have been James Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. Even though Paul Newman is awesome in that
He's
movie,
a G, but
he's so good.
That's my theory. He had him killed.
Well, I don't think. I mean,
He cut the brakes.
I don't know.
He was a dude. He was racing.
Yep.
Paul Newman actually, but funny enough, later on in his life became a racer. He was racing like drag cars, and had a full team.
Hey, that kind of.
I want to beat the shit out of fucking James Dean's mom.
Yeah.
No, fuck the grandma.
Both of them. They're such bitches.
Well, you know who he gets it from.
Yeah. It's the way the mom is just at the dad's throat.
That's the problem with your fucking in-laws. I don't have any.
Not yet, baby.
But that's the problem. Like they fucking influence your woman in a way that gives them too much strength.
Oh my God.
Stop it. Stop it.
No, I will not stop. I will not stop. I stand by what I said.
Why don't you shotgun another hazy?
In-laws are the in-laws. Mondo knows. Mondo's
Calm
not gonna
down,
say
Archie
anything.
Bunker.
Hey,
Melissa,
Melissa must not be home right now.
Oh, she's standing right there, but they're technically, right? Or technically, are they my in-laws?
That's why I
They
do this
will
shit in
be.
the garage.
In 6 months, he was going to go, gotta get the best in-laws.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, so speaking of in-laws, Melissa's dad, this is his favorite movie.
Is it? Fuck yeah.
So,
Yeah, my fiance's father. This is his favorite movie. James Dean was like his hero when he was younger, and Natalie Wood was like his crush growing up.
Dude, she became my crush. She's a babe.
She is a babe.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she's in a good bit of movies too.
Is she? I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And she's a good actress. Also.
Yeah, think about like James Dean's fucking impact on like fashion and men coming up. Men growing up.
Yep.
Dean definitely pounded that ass.
Dude, he was a staple. Actually, I don't know because the lore is that she was dating Dennis Hopper at the start before this movie started, and during during pre-production, she started messing around with Nicholas Ray, and Nicholas Ray or Dennis Hopper saw Nicholas Ray and her together and got into a fight, and as from this happening, they wanted to get rid of Dennis Hopper. He wanted to get rid of Dennis Hopper, but the studio said no because they liked him. So Dennis Hopper's original character was supposed to be Crunch, because he's got a bigger role in it.
Yeah.
And so since that happened, he took that away from him and gave him a lesser role and playing like the other kind of henchman in the crew. I thought that was fairly interesting.
It's a little wiener energy right there.
Another thing too is I thought that's pretty sick. We spoke on him earlier. Marlon Brando actually was tapped to do this movie originally. And then also did screen testings for it, but they ultimately sided with James Dean.
Was it? They were like, "We got an offer, you can't refuse."
I think it was right after A Streetcar Named Desire. I think that was right after he auditioned for this one, but then went to do something else, and then later on, a couple years later, did On the Waterfront.
He would have been dope in this movie.
He could have been, but I think honestly, man, this movie is awesome because James Dean.
Yeah,
he's so cool. He's so cool in this movie.
I don't think I knew how cool James Dean was until I saw this movie.
Yeah.
This is my first time ever seeing it.
I don't get it. I don't get the coolness aspect of it, to be honest with you.
I just love the fact that he is so true to his honor.
Hey, he made me want to smoke a cigarette. He made me want to buy a fucking red jacket.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And this is fucking 60 years after this movie came out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear my red jacket to sleep tonight.
Oh, be careful, dude. The Dean boys are gonna come at you.
God damn it.
Not wearing your colors.
Never said a damn thing.
What's your I think me and Mondo answer. What was Jake and Steven's favorite moments from this movie?
Least favorite or favorite?
Favorite.
I think it was least favorite.
Okay. I think I said my favorite, so then I want to hear your guys's.
Man, my least favorite was Plato acting like a little baby with James Dean and Natalie Woods as the parents. I thought that was super stupid and super weird and
she started humming the fucking
Brahms lullaby.
Yeah, dude, that was so weird.
Yeah, wasn't a fan of that. And how he woke up scared that everybody had left him.
Mommy?
Yeah. I thought, not a fan. Feel like they could have done that a lot different. And then I think my favorite part, dude. A lot of good scenes. I got the bullets. That scene where he swoops up Natalie Wood after the race and he just like puts his head down and reaches out his hand and is like, he tells her, don't, just like, because she's about to jump.
Yeah, she looks like she's contemplating it, huh?
Yeah, she looks about to jump and he's like, don't do it. And she just fucking grabs his arm and he saved her life. And I think that's why there was such like an instant attraction. And it was like I said it earlier when the scene came out, but it was like a transfer of ownership from Buzz to James Dean's character.
Yeah. I think for me it was the knife fight, because there's a little like a lot of this movie, there's a lot of what's the word? Not pretense, but like what's the better word for prediction in a sense?
A lot of foreshadowing.
Foreshadow, yeah, exactly. Thank you. I don't think it's in the beginning when he's at the cop's office, or it might be when he's talking with the detective just one-on-one and saying that he got in a fight from the last place because somebody called him chicken. And then when they're at the knife fight, Buzz characters, he mentions chicken, and then James Dean kind of freaks out. He's like, "Are you calling me a chicken?"
They all start balking at him.
And he's like, "Is that for me?" And then they kind of start getting into it. And then you kind of see the switch from Buzz feeling really confident and kind of fucking up James Dean to James Dean, like kind of giving Buzz a couple. And kind of just, it's that sway of who's going to be the big man here. Which
I was hoping he was going to pull a shotgun out of the trunk.
What the fuck?
Jeez.
Mondo, what you wanted a boning scene? You wanted to show you? What did you want from this movie? It's 1955.
I wanted to see James Dean pull a shotgun out of the fucking trunk of his car and tell all those motherfuckers to get out of his way.
You're weird.
That reminds me of the scene later on when the cop is chasing Plato and he shoots like 3 or 4 times into the air. There's like warning shots. I thought that was hilarious. Like that's not
shooting at me, but I'm giving you warning shots.
Yeah, like that's not a thing, dude. There's no warning shots. As soon as shots are fired, you're protecting yourself. You're not getting off warnings.
Well, cops are different then. They're better.
Yeah, seems like it.
But yeah, that thing. And then also, I mean, you kind of said you hated it, but I kind of really enjoyed that part where towards the end, they're at the mansion and they're all kind of sitting there, and like you hated it because like the Brahms lullaby but for me, it was like they finally have their family. They finally have what they feel like is a family, and they feel loved between the 3 of them. I thought that was a special moment, and so I liked the action sense, and then the true like the romantic aspect of the film.
Excellent.
Beautiful. Mondo?
Oh, I already said I hated the end.
What was your favorite scene?
I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite scene.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think I have a least favorite scene. I mean, I don't know, man. I agree. The planetarium's kind of awkward, but it's also very needed to progress the storyline. I don't know.
And Mondo, I got a question for you. Just because, the biggest thing with Dean's dad is that and Dean says this, is that he wants to be my friend instead of being my father. And I know my dad always kind of said that too. He's like, we are friends, but I'm your dad first. And like, don't ever like cross the two. Like there's a huge difference between the two. As a father, is that a difficult kind of relationship to establish?
Absolutely not. It's funny because we just talked about this weekend. We took a trip up to Ventura County, on the coast. And there's an old video of my daughter. Somebody asked her a question about who her best friend was. And she's gonna start naming off some girls from school. And then she just, her frame of mind changed. She goes, "Oh, my mom's my best friend."
Love that.
And then little Mondo's like, "Well, when I was that age, Dad told me we weren't friends." And I was like, "That's right, bitch."
Yeah.
Don't get my belt.
Yeah. Not your friend, bitch. Go mow the lawn.
And it's true. I told him at a young age, like you ain't gonna play with me. Like, I'm not your friend. I'm your dad. I got to show you how to be a man.
Right.
Yeah.
And like that was a huge part, like that James Dean's character wanted. He wanted him to not be his friend, to be his dad.
Yeah.
And so like I just didn't know, like, if not being a father, like, is that just kind of a hard thing to kind of teeter, in between?
It's hard to think about it if I was looking for that. I scare myself thinking like, if I raised them that way, as them coming to me as a friend first, I'd be mortified. Like that's like my biggest nightmare. Like I don't want them to think of me as like that. There's a plane. You got respect on one side and you got friendship on the other. And I always have to have, I need that respect no matter what.
Yeah. Well, as a father, you deserve that respect.
Yeah. And then later on, you there's a dynamic where that respect turns into a friendship where your sons can tell you things that they won't tell their mom. And you hear the conversations that go on, and it's funny. It's a funny dynamic because they're not afraid to be open and talk to you about man stuff. And that
just comes with age, huh?
It's cool. Yeah. And then a lot of it has to do with, and the reason why, I'm so glad Steven came back home from Texas, because I didn't want him to miss out on that with my kids.
Right.
Because that's there's also an uncle nephew relationship aspect of that too.
Absolutely.
The uncle aspect helps out the father aspect of it for me. So if that makes any sense.
I missed like 6 years.
Yeah. Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
Don't my little spiel to the audience: don't get in trouble with the law.
More like a statement. More like a statement.
Leave it at that.
More like an experience. Experience.
Don't put Twinkies on your pizza.
Beautiful. Anyways, Rebel Without a Cause. Let's rate it, boys. Hunter.
8.5.
Jake.
8.6.
You piece of shit.
8.5 was. I thought he was gonna call me first. I was gonna say 8.5, but I had to go with one better than you.
Mondo.
I know I said I don't have a favorite part, and I pointed out the parts I didn't like, and I explained some parts are really weird to me, but I do like this movie. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7.8.
Beautiful.
I had it at a 7.5 all the way.
So you gave this the same you gave Prey?
Prey got a 7.2. Different movies.
Yeah, completely different movies.
Different genres. Sci-fi versus fucking Rebel Without a Cause. Give me a break. Watch Prey and then come talk to me. Prey was dope.
Jake's gonna watch Prey, Eat, Love.
Probably 8.1 is what this came out to.
Beautiful. That's it. That's where it deserves to be.
It's honestly a lot higher than I would have expected it to be based off of the.
It deserves an 8.3.
I mean, it's a classic. It's a staple. It's
Then you should have gave it a perfect 10, Jake, if you loved it so much.
This movie's notorious and famous for a reason, so I'm glad that we were able to discuss it on this platform today.
It's a 7.6 on IMDb.
Fuck IMDb.
See, bam, that's fucking. I gave it a 7.5, or yeah. Eat a dick. All right, boys. Anything you want to close out the podcast with? Now or never?
Nope.
Make sure you follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, the Vintage Podcast. Make sure that you're leaving us a comment and a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Let us know how we're doing, folks.
OnlyFans coming soon.
Oh, that is going to be it. That's a Jake. That's a Jake exclusive.
Only you're allowed to make sexual jokes. Okay, I get it.
Your sexual jokes are a little weird, Ace.
Yeah.
Jake referencing it. Yeah, I wanted to see James
They were
Dean
in their
and Natalie
20s.
Wood bone down.
They were in
Natalie
their 20s.
Wood was 17 when she was filming this.
Yeah.
James Dean was 24.
Thing. According to Hunter, it's fine if they're 17.
I didn't say that.
Go back.
I said the opposite earlier.
Go back.
You kind of insinuated.
No, I did not. I said how weird it was.
Okay.
Go back.
We'll listen to it later.
Go back.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I forget what it was, but on one of our, I think it was our last episode, Mondo was like, go back and re-listen to what I said. He was incorrect.
I knew it, dude.
Yeah.
Prove it.
It's on fucking kids. It's recorded. I'll find it. I'll bring it up. I'll bring a soundbite next episode.
I'm glad I got an hour out of your life this week to edit that up.
Let's post that on Instagram so everybody knows that Mondo is lying.
Edit what up?
You're gonna fabricate what you just said about me.
Isn't it?
No, I have. What do you mean? It's on the fucking.
You're gonna edit it to make it sound.
Hey, you think
the way you want it to sound?
Hey,
it's already published.
Hey, and no disrespect to Steven, but you think he's got the skills to do that?
That's why I said it's gonna take him an hour to do it. To edit a 5-second clip.
It'll take you longer than an hour, dog.
I feel disrespected, so fuck you. Yeah. No offense, but offensive. Eat a dick, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry.
No fucking respect around here.
Man, all
that's
the
it for
words
this week.
Came in at the end of the show.
That's it for this week's episode of the Vintage Podcast. Tune in on any podcast listening app that you have your hands on. You can share it with a friend, share it with your dog, share it with your cat, share it with anybody. That being said, that's it for this week's episode. Until next time, go watch something. Peace.
Bye.
Later, guys.